So my name is Christopher Latella and I work at Edith Cowan University. Okay, so an interesting fact about myself is that before transitioning into full-time academia and research, I actually worked as a strength and conditioning coach and personal trainer for many years. And during this time, I got to work with a range of different people, from relatively young to relatively old, people who were relatively healthy to those with chronic health conditions, including several people with multiple sclerosis, and also people who were competing in strength sports, particularly powerlifting at the time. And so what I found really rewarding about that entire experience was that I got to see firsthand how exercise, and in particular strength training, could positively impact the lives of various people. So whether it was just enabling them to perform activities of daily living better, all the way up to achieving their sporting ambitions. Okay, so what inspired us, or myself, to get involved in MS research? Well, in our neurophysiology lab here at Edith Cowan University, we do a lot of research trying to understand how the brain and nervous system works to control our muscles. And over the last 1 to 2 years, we've become increasingly interested in understanding how our motor neurons, which are the nerves that originate in our spinal cord and connect to our muscles, work and behave during muscle contractions. And so we now have some advancements in recording technology and equipment that allow us to investigate these motor neurons in a little bit more detail. So I guess we're hoping that the techniques and methods that we use can help identify potential problems in these motor neurons, and then help inform future treatment targets that might help to maintain and restore physical function in people with MS. I think there's a lot of great research coming out in this space, and in particular many great research groups doing really meaningful and impactful work in MS. For me in particular, it's been that probably over the last 1 to 2 years, there has been some suggestion that there are potential problems with neurotransmitters. So here I'm talking about serotonin and noradrenaline released from the brain in people with MS, and affecting how those neurotransmitters then travel down onto the spinal cord. And what we do know about these neurotransmitters, serotonin and noradrenaline, is that they are really important to help these motor neurons, which I spoke about earlier, to work and fire properly and hence control our muscles. So that's probably the area that I'm most excited about. The research project that we will be working on over the next 12 months will use high-density electromyography recording, which is non-invasive and painless. But basically, we can record the muscle activity while we ask people to contract our muscles. We can then run that data through an advanced computer algorithm, and it can tell us about the firing of individual nerves. So then we can go in and explore some intricate properties of these nerves, known as persistent inward currents, that basically help these motor neurons to fire more easily. And we know, as I said earlier, that they're heavily dependent upon the actions of serotonin and noradrenaline. Once we understand a little bit more about this, we can then, or will attempt to relate this to physical function in people with MS. Okay, so we think that our research is important because once we understand a little bit more about the behavior of these motor neurons during muscle contraction, we might be able to help inform more specific future treatment targets. So whether that's through specific types of exercise, potentially even pharmacological interventions. Okay, so the thing I enjoy most about working in the lab is that we have a relatively small but close-knit and motivated team, and we get to explore various aspects of how the brain and nervous system works to control our muscles. And one of the most rewarding parts of this research and enjoyable parts of my job is that we get to work hands-on directly with human participants who come in our lab and help us to answer these questions. Some of the challenges we face that I guess We have lots of exciting ideas and things that we try to explore, but research can be quite a slow process sometimes, and so translating those findings into meaningful outcomes can sometimes take a little bit of time.